Hello and welcome. My name is Lexi Zhang, and today we're just going to do a quick mini review of the new Louboutin products. So I always have a hard time saying that, so excuse my pronunciation. I don't know why. It's one of those words that I never do it exactly right. So anyway, we now have new duos, eyeshadow duos from Louboutin. And this is called the Abracadabra Duo, and I have the shade Lady Khaki. So let's start off with the swatches. So these are our two swatches of the eyeshadow. You can see we have this gold, and this is kind of like your khaki camo green, but it has gold glitter in there. It actually has a very warm goldish glint to it. Now, if you're looking at this lightest shade here, you can see that it's opaque, but not fully opaque. So it has a lot of that gold shimmer in there, and that part is opaque, but you can definitely see there's still translucency through it. It's not as though you're seeing, a translucency of the pigments, but more so spaces where the pigments aren't. So this is not going to be as sheer as a topper, but yet it's not opaque as the deeper eyeshadow shade either. So it's kind of like an in-between kind of shade. And you can just see when I turn how much gold and light reflection you have in here. To say, when I purchased this one online, I didn't think it was quite as gold as it actually is, or I probably would have picked another color. So just keep that in mind. It's not my favorite color choice here. I love khaki green, but this is definitely too warm for to be a personal favorite for me. Now, they also came out with new on-the-go lipsticks. So you can see these are going to be a smaller size. I don't have any of the full-size lipsticks. I have some of their liquid lipsticks, which I did not like. So I wanted to try a lipstick, but I didn't want to purchase the full size. So I thought this was a great way to do that. I have the shade Milky Light, which is 342M. And you can see they actually have that printed here as well as on the bottom. So this is what our bullet looks like here. And let's go ahead and swatch this one. We'll put this one here on my hand. And that's one layer. This is also what's on my lips right now, and we can build that up there. So this is going to be a matte lipstick, but they also have satin shades available as well. Now, this is going to be plastic packaging. This is all plastic, the whole thing. And I did want to mention the eyeshadow palette also comes with a plastic tray and a utensil with one side with a foam tip applicator and one side with an angled brush. So let's take a look at some eye looks and a wear test while we talk about the eyeshadows. This has a shelf life of 18 months. We have 4.6 grams of product here, and it's made in Italy. The packaging on this is plastic. We do have a mirror that fills the top portion of this palette. Overall, I think that the performance of these shadows is very nice. There's no issue with the performance. I didn't really experience fallout with this. It lasted all day without creasing. But I do have to say, I feel like the deeper shade, that khaki shade, is more of a true shadow. You've got the opacity there and so forth. Whereas the gold shade is more of a denser topper shade. There's a little bit too much translucency like you would get in a typical glitter topper shade, but yet it's not quite as translucent as that. It's kind of in between. I just don't really like it. When you're wearing that one on its own, it doesn't look right because it can look like it's patchy in application when in reality that's actually just the product. So it does work better as a topper, but unless you're going very sparingly with it as a topper, it's a little bit too opaque for a topper. So I don't really love that. I feel like they should have made that shade either more sheer, or since it's only a duo, put in something that could also be used on its own. So that's kind of my thoughts on the duo. I don't love it. I don't plan on picking up any more of these. I think and the performance, again, is fine, but it's okay. I feel like there are better duos, better products out there for me. So it's not something I'm planning on purchasing more of. Now, moving on to the lipstick. Again, this is my first time trying their actual lipsticks. I have tried their liquid lipsticks, which I really did not like. I have a review for that. I'll leave that linked down below in the description box. But this does have a fragrance. You can smell that when you're putting it on. It's not something I really notice once it's on my lips. And we have an 18-month shelf life here, and they are made in Italy. We have 3 grams of product. Overall, I think it is a nice matte lipstick. You're definitely going to get that powdery feel. After about between the 3 and 4 hour mark, that's when I noticed my lips feeling a little dry. However, I did notice that when I took off the lipstick, my lips were not any drier than they were when they started, but they just felt like they were getting a little dry. So it was, they didn't cause any issues. They weren't technically drying out my lips, but they just didn't remain comfortable. So it felt like I needed some moisture. Overall, though, I feel like it's a nice powdery matte lipstick formula. But again, it's not going to be a favorite. I feel like there are better matte lipsticks out there. I love creamy mattes like the Givenchy Velvets, and I love some drier mattes as well, like the Dries Van Noten. So there are better options, in my opinion, that I'd rather put my money towards. So it's okay, but nothing special. So in summation, I'd have to say I feel like the lipstick, it was smart of them to make the little mini one. The plastic definitely helps keep the cost down. You're still kind of getting that Louboutin look to it, but it also feels cheap when you're actually touching it, because you can tell that this cap is definitely just, plastic, something like my kids would get on a toy. And, it's just light. It's very lightweight, which again is great for on the go, but it looks better in camera than I think it does in person. In person, I feel like it looks very cheap. So, it's just, for me, not worth it. Overall, I feel like them making these smaller sizes was a smart move, because it allows a broader range of customers to purchase their items and test them out. However, I just don't find anything stellar about these formulas that make them worth exploring for me. So, unless something really great comes out from the brand, I think I'm kind of done testing out their particular products, as I just haven't found anything from this brand that I really love. So yeah, that's kind of it. Let's just take a look at just a couple quick comparisons. So this lipstick from Louboutin, again, we have shade number Milky Light 342M. The first thing it made me think of when I saw it in person was this Guerlain Rouge G. This is a velvet in 360, and I think it's called Milky Beige. I'd have to double check that. But I did want to show you that one, because this is going to be pretty similar in color. So you can see that the Guerlain is going to be a little bit peachier, whereas we have a little bit more of a pinky nude tone to the Louboutin. So they're going to be kind of close in color. I actually do like the Louboutin color a little bit better for me, but I think that the velvet formula from the Guerlain Rouge G, it's also going to give you kind of that powdery matte look and finish, but it just stays more comfortable on the lips. Both of them will have a fragrance, but for me, my preference would be the Guerlain. And then the other lipstick I wanted to take a look at, this is one of the Rouge Dior Forevers. Again, this is going to be an all-day wearing matte lipstick. We're going to put this on the other side of it. This is 100, which is called Forever Nude Look. So you can see this is going to be a little bit pinker, a little bit rosier, but again, we're still kind of in that same color family. So those are my top 3, or my top 2 comparisons to the Louboutin in Milky Light. Now for eyeshadows, it made me think of this Givenchy palette. This was a holiday palette. It's 9.07, so it's not really available anymore. But this shade here at the top, let's look at that, and this middle shade here. These are the 2 shades that this made me think of. So here is kind of a similar khaki shade, but you can see this is cooler. We still have that gold glitter in there, that shimmer, but we have a cooler base. So I think it works a little bit more effectively. And then our gold is a little bit more yellow instead of a little bit peachier, like in the Louboutin. So, but overall, I feel like they're pretty comparable. And then this is the Izamaya palette. So let's take a look at this one here. And yeah, I think this one, it's definitely more green. put that right there so you can kind of see. Yeah, we definitely have more green there. And then let's take a look at this gold here as well. And this, again, it doesn't have that translucency that we have there. And you can see we actually have a bit of green in there. So yeah, that one really doesn't go. My mistake there. All right, and last up we have this Burberry. This is the Monogram Eye Palette. So let's start off with this green here. And this is more bronzy, but let's go ahead and see how that compares. You can see that, again, color-wise, this is going to have more green in it. Let's go ahead and put that there. Doesn't match. This is really more brown. And then this gold is more bronze. All right, last one, Bobbi Brown Jadestone palette. So let's take a look at these two shades right here. And you know what? Let's actually take a look at this brown one here too. And just see how these compare. Let's put these all the way down here. This brown is closer. The gold is not. The gold's definitely more yellow. Let's try this lighter shade here as well. And yeah, I think that's going to be it for this. But this is more champagne-y yellow with a touch of green. So, So those are my comparisons. Again, there's no real dupe that I have there, but those aren't colors that I typically, they're a little bit warmer than the tones I typically wear in those types of colors. So overall, I hope this was helpful. I would have to say that I think these products are just like mediocre. So for me, they're a pass. I hope this helps somebody. So thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you so much and have a great day.